Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tube. Welcome back. If this is your third Heels episode review for you today, it has been a very long week for me. I've started a new job. I did a lot of adulting stuff, had some fun, and here we are. It's been a full week. A lot has happened in the last week. I'm pretty sure more things will happen again as we come back around this time next week. But Heels once again impresses me once again, doing what's right for the story at the correct pacing in the story. It's just so freaking smart how they're doing it. And again, I'm not surprised considering the guy who wrote and created the show, Michael Warden, who made Loki for Marvel not that long ago. I knew okay, this guy's good, but I'm like, damn, this guy's really good because he knows. I mean, okay, he didn't write this episode, for example, but he's kind of like the head writer. He knows where the story's going to go this first season, and so far everything is perfect. Everything's on track. We're back on we're back in the ring this week, but we're continuing the story as it progresses. So I'm pretty sure if we just do this one episode in the ring and then the next episode out in public, it definitely does continue the story and it definitely does push things to the next level and push things forward. As there's still some twists I wasn't expecting, tensions heating up, and all that sort. So for me, I really want to get into this episode because this was pretty freaking fun and also pretty serious at the same time, because I was honestly not expecting that starter. Like that first scene, I was like, is this who I think it is? And it's like, oh, it is him. He still looks, well, you know what, let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of Heels, which begins with a flashback that isn't really advertised as a flashback, about maybe a year ago, per se. I think that's what they clarified in show for a year ago. Where I believe, so a year ago, Ace Spade is doing his jog similar to how Jack's been doing his jog. No, not Jack Spade. Tom Spade, the father of Jack and Ace. He's doing his usual his jog throughout the neighborhood. Everyone knows who he is. And for some reason, I honestly don't know what happens in this. I really can't tell what happens. All I do remember is, well, we don't know what happened with the context of this scene, and I think you're going to figure this more out in the next 5 weeks, hopefully, as we start to unravel the psyche that is Tom King. Because in the first 2 episodes, they do admit Tom King was this icon in Duffy. He was a very major component in the recent era of the DWL, but then once things started to go downhills and things started to really decrease, there was just some things that were just not going right with him. And then honestly, I don't think they ever mentioned why he died. He just said since Dad died. This episode definitely painted he killed himself, because he just did a simple morning day for an old dad. All he did was did his jog, mowed the lawn, hanged up a sign in the garden. He saw a deer, and we assume he's gonna kill the deer because they don't really have. Also, I think one of my friends told me recently that we have an overpopulation issue with deers. So I think if we killed the deers, it wouldn't really affect the. I don't really know what my friend said. I don't really know, but I was assuming he grabbed the gun for the deer. He goes outside, but instead he shoots it above himself, killing himself in the process. Aces happens to be in the house that day. He goes outside, is in complete dismay, and then we just get the logo there and we cut back to present day, where it's again another big match for the week. I believe we start with the promotion that the new guy, I forgot his name, is about to already headline his first match. Everyone's excited for him, as well as this is Ace's big comeback after last week's. Well, everyone knows what happened in the last couple episodes. We know already. So this is his big. He wants to make a comeback. He wants to get the people back up to Team Ace again. Get the feels back. So obviously, of course, when Big Rooster, what's his name? When Bill comes back to town, then it's okay, we can get the ball rolling in the negotiations again. So he's trying to get there already. He's trying to already fast forward towards that next step already. And he's still holding his ground against Jack. This is what I want to do. This is what the speech I want to do. I want to have some free say in my character, so I could just get back in good graces with the audience. I think what the other thing that pointed out, because I know there was something with Jack early on in this episode. I forgot what it was entirely. I know he was driving somewhere. That's all I remember. And so by the time they all get back to everyone's at the stadium bright and early, getting ready for the big match of the day. They have a big special guest coming through, which is apparently a well-known wrestler in our real circles, the CM Punk. Again, if you're unaware of this, I do not know anything about wrestling. All I know is The Rock. I know John Cena. I know The Undertaker. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I literally know about wrestling. So I really don't know anyone else. So he's kind of a big name out there right now. So he's playing a character here. So he's a special guest because the whole master plan for Jack is to. They're not being oblivious. There's a lot of people right now who just do not even want to support the DWL because they thought, oh, they hyped us up for this event. It literally ended in a minute. They really destroyed the story. We hate the DWL. We're not coming back. But there's still some people that are literally still wanting to go because they're curious. They want to see what's next. Also, they want to see what Ace is going to do next, what the next meme he's going to do next for the cameras. So in order to kind of build up a little bit of like people to come back through, they hired this guy named Rooster. It's a no, not Rooster. I forgot what his name is. He's a very different sort of wrestler than what we're used to already. He's very different, but I forgot what his name was. But he's coming through. He's the big guest for the week, and they're like ready to like hopefully make a little bit of more cash than normal to kind of like start recouping the costs from everything that's going on. Also, what's going on in the locker room. Oh yes, no, yeah. The only thing else is going on is Rooster, one of the other wrestlers, is a little bit bummed because coming off of last week where he literally complained to everyone else that I'm literally getting pushed to the side, man. Like I've been like here for a long time and I have not yet gotten a chance at the belt. And of course, everyone's just telling him like, go talk to Jack. Like all you can do right now is just talk to Jack, voice your complaints, and hopefully he'll try to accommodate you. We'll see how that goes. And but Rooster's not really one to kind of like take the direct approach and already immediately jump toward asking the head writer or the boss, like, hey, can you give me a chance at the belt at least, so I at least have a say in the championship match, that sort of thing. But that's on his mindset. Ace is a little bit worried on getting back in there because he's not sure how everyone's going to react because this is the first time they've all seen each other really since the last match. And of course, obviously, you have the baby meeting, but it was mostly like Ace standing at a distance. This was like kind of like a family moment, so they really weren't going to bring anything up. But Ace comes in, he immediately jives in with everyone seems to be back to normal until Rooster speaks up about the other dude getting in already in the title match. Ace tries to defend him, kind of like intimidate Rooster, but Rooster's not really taking anything. So they kind of just have a minor spat in the thing, and they kind of move on from there. Meanwhile, Jack's wife is entertaining her best friends, who have all, I'm assuming, considering the fact that they're all high school friends, so like they've still been in touch after these many years. I'm assuming that was the case. Because they've all gone off to do their own things outside of Duffy, so they're visiting her because, you know, they just miss each other. It's an old gals reunion. It also kind of showcases a little bit of Jack's wife's jealousy of the situation. Because last week we started to see the real strains of their marriage, of her constantly having to sacrifice everything, not having a job, and just being the supportive wife, but also not being able to do anything because money's tight, and all the money they do get goes directly to the DWL, and, you know, doing all that. And like now seeing where her friends are at in life, even more successful, doing these amazing adventures, these amazing trips, and she's still not trying to be mean, but like she's still slumming it in Duffy, you know, being a mom, and basically that's it. And, you know, last week kind of ended with like she's starting to become a little bit more independent, a little bit more fierce by herself. So I think this coming off of this next day is like, okay, yeah, she's starting to like really feel it right now. And she kind of feels a little bit embarrassed that like some of them are like traveling over the place, and she's still in Duffy. She hasn't gone on vacation in like many years, I'm assuming. So, but it's a gals night, so they're trying to really not try to be too into the weeds about it. So I believe the event does start. Oh yeah, no, before the event, one of the preliminary warm-up matches start up. One of the sponsors for the DWL, the only remaining ones, comes through just to make a little bit of nitpick up the banner they sent. Because considering the fact that DWL really can't be negotiators right now, Jack's like, no problem, we'll fix it, don't worry. And hey, if you want, if you sponsor us a little bit more, we can have your names in the ring. And even the guy's like, I can consider it. Like, I can consider it. I'm like, it's always about money with these people, but I just love it so much. I really do. The match is where the guest wrestler arrives, And he's like, honestly, like, I've never seen this guy before, and I know he's wearing a wig because I looked at pictures of him after I was, when I was watching this episode. I'm just thinking to myself, huh, this show continues to impress me and continues to make me debate. If I had more free time, I would honestly watch some wrestling matches, a match of real ones, but sad to say, I don't have the free time, considering the fact that I literally only get a few hours of rest, and then everything else is usually occupado, so... that's unfortunate in my life. But anyway, he's like really making blood. Everyone loves him. It seems like every time a guest wrestler comes through, like everyone's so excited. Oh my God, we got this guy this week. It's so great. And it's like, it's all the perks of the job. And once Ace hears about it, he's a little bit not too happy, considering the fact he thinks that Jack is trying to write him off again and trying to like make this the title match. And Ace is like, no, this is my moment. This is my time. He's gonna do this. He goes out there. It's his time. It's his intro to kind of like get the crowd going. Like, we're about to begin the main matches, and everyone is just starting to boo him. Like, no one is letting this meme die out. Everyone's just like, boo Ace, boo him, cry baby, boo 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 boo. Even that girl from like episode 1, who Ace clearly insulted like a freaking bulldozer, comes back. It's like, cry baby, cry baby. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's like freaking middle school bullying here. I'm like, come on, you're all adults here. Come on. I don't know the days of growing up. I know Ace is a total dick and he's made one mistake, but come on, that's not really much to like gig up on him. Ace has enough of it. He leaves the stadium. Jax tries to stop him. The two have a near confrontation, but Ace is not hearing it, and Jack's trying to lecture him that, look, this is part of the job. You're riling them up. It's all part of the main act. But if you don't follow through on it, you're just literally wasting your time and you're wasting the motivation. But Ace is not understanding and kind of like just goes off in another room. Oh yeah, also I forgot, Crystal bonds with the CM Punk's character's valet, and you know, because this valet's like more of a seasoned veteran, and she's giving like some pointers to Crystal on like how things should be done, like little tips and tricks to how to keep track of her man. You know, like, you're just gonna be there. Whatever he needs, at the end of the day, that's her job. Whatever he needs. It could be to talk to him, knock some sense into him, have sex with him. Anything that he wants, he gets. That basically is the job with these indie league wrestling circuits. So when Ace is in a secluded corner of the arena, Crystal walks behind him and tries to comfort him, but literally the only way Crystal knows how to comfort him is just to have sex with him. And again, it's still very weird for me to see this sort of thing. Like, I know, like, I watch Game of Thrones already, so I'm like, I'm very accustomed to what FCC shows that are like, they're still rated by the FCC, but they don't have to like really like, they're a premium channel. They don't have to like always conform to the regular channels like the CW or NBC and ABC. There's only a limit to how far you can go with that. So it's just so weird a little bit seeing these scenes play out. It's a little bit weird per se. But after they're done, Crystal's obviously trying to get him back in the mood, because like, hopefully that was enough to get him back. But Ace is still a little distant. He's still not there yet. He's still not. Something's still wrong with him. But anyway, the other matches start up. Rooster's still feeling a little bit agitated and was about to talk to Jack, but things are going on, so he's not really feeling the mood for it. Eventually, with Jack's wife and her crew, they all start to hear about, oh, what is this DWL? Like, what's going on here? And she's like, no, I don't want to go. It's embarrassing. You know, we don't have to go. We can just stay here and have drinks. But the girls get curious enough, so they all decide to head off to the match and start seeing things. And they're all just very much surprised on how things are done in this small town. They're just very surprised about the nature of things. Where do we go here next? Oh yeah, at some point during... so eventually Jack heads off to go face off the CM Punk's character, the visiting wrestler. Also, we got a little bit more context of things. Like, he's kind of gotten old. He's kind of got a little sprite in his age. Like, he's still a big name, but he's not, like, really called upon that much. And also, it's getting a little bit difficult to, like, provide food for the table, since, you know, if you're not really getting that many gigs, you're not really paying the bills that much, because he's not really set down with one league. He's just really just jumping around wherever he's needed, wherever it's going on. So always appreciated on that. And just seeing their matchup was like, it was interesting, because like, this is obviously very fake, but it's just the energy, the emotion, the rawness, and all that. I'm like, just like, damn, this is funny. This really is funny. picking things up during this entire time. All the other wrestlers start getting this like this tweet or this like video, and everyone's just chuckling, everyone's laughing. Then we cut to outside. Ace meets up with Rooster. Apparently, the video is while Bill was on an airplane, he literally stuck his dick out, and someone filmed the video of it. Like he was clearly on drugs or something, and it was just so hilarious. Like Jesus, damn, this guy has no shame whatsoever. So it's obviously a hint of what's to come in the next couple of weeks, considering the fact that we'll get to him more in a second. So the two start talking about just some things, and obviously Rooster's venting his complaints. Like, ever since I was a kid, I've always been like a raw talent. I've always been like a very strong team player, but I've never been selected to be in the championship. I've never been selected to even be considered for the belt. And even when Jack took over last year, he shouldn't have been surprised that at the end Jack didn't really do anything to make any change for him. Ace backs him up and is like, yeah, right, fuck Jack. Fuck his writing, man. I mean, like, what does he have to say about it? But, like, at the end of the day, even Rooster's like, you know what, man? At least Jack's right about one thing. The way he's writing you out right now to be a heel, it's a really smart move. But Ace does not want to be a heel. He wants to be the hero. He wants to be the face. He wants his comeback because he thinks that's the only way he's going to make it in the big leagues. But it's going to take a little bit of a while for him to get there. So after their matchup is over, for a brief moment, they can't find Ace, so they start to just plan out a rewritten championship match with Jack up there. But, you know, everyone's just like, you can't do a second match back to back. You're not that young anymore. You're not going to make it. But for a moment, like, Jack's like, he's like, yeah, I have to go up there. We need to put on a show for them. And thankfully Ace does show up, but he's a little bit more brooding. He's a little bit more menacing before. Something's different about him. So, and when they get on stage and just seeing them like him really like starting to, it's a morph. Like, you still see the same energy that Ace had when he was a face, but you start to see that morph and you start to see that develop into something else, to something new, and it's a little bit creepy, and it was honestly a little bit crazy, to be honest with you. And yeah, that was like the biggest turnaround from everything. And so that's besides the point there. Yeah, Ace really plays with him, really torments him, like literally paints the picture like, I am a heel now. This is my new origin story. This is my switch in personality and such like that. And I was just thinking to myself, damn, this was something else. And everyone's in the background just like watching this, like, this is right. This is writing right here. Like, Jack was onto something here, and this is all paying off right now. Because once they go back to the room and like everyone's like so happy, it's like, oh my god, that was perfect. That was a job well done. They nailed that script. But it feels like that Ace is starting to turn a little bit more. Like the whole the whole idealism that when you're on stage or off stage, you're starting to develop those characteristics of your character to stay in character. Ace is starting to act a little bit like a bad guy. Like he's pushing away Crystal. He's saying fuck you to everyone around him, and he just leaves without a sign of like celebrating whatsoever. And it was honestly a little bit of a concerning thought that we'll have to pay attention to in the next episode. But anyway, the matchup is over. It was a pretty successful day. Everyone's happy. The arena made some real good money. Everyone's happy. Everything's kind of resolved with everything else. Even when the visiting wrestler, CM Punk's character, and his team leave, his son included, apparently the valet was not his wife. She was just a valet who was just there for whatever he needs. And Crystal was shocked. They're like, hey, look, not all valets end up being the wives or the girlfriends. I mean, sometimes it doesn't last. You just got to play your part and do your job. That's really it. And she still's like, you got potential, girl. You got potential. Just keep working hard and you'll get there. But I don't know what Crystal's thinking right now, considering the fact that Crystal has, you know, not much going on right now. Because, like, she's, you know, we know she has the skills to be a wrestler, but no one's really looking at her like that yet. Ace is currently kind of pushing her aside a little bit. So, for everything else going on, I honestly don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. I believe the other thing I have to mention before we head out, so everyone's heading home now. Jack's wife is thinking about her friends who are all heading back off home, away from Duffy, and she's stuck there, and like the mindset she has is like, great, they're all going off back to their fancy lives, and I get to continue my own boring life. But to point off before as we're wrapping it up, as Willie's heading home, she's stopping by her entranceway, and she sees Will there. No, not Will. Bill there. And I was like, I fucked up so hard, man. I'm assuming by this point, the reason why he's in dub because like I'm pretty sure that they're the only people that's going to take him in. I'm pretty sure he got fired. That's my assumption that this was a big negative PR move, and like, yeah, they definitely do not want him anymore. So, we're seeing how that's gonna go for a bit next week. And as for everyone else, Jack and his wife are heading back home, and she's bringing up like, I heard about Machu Picchu, and I'm like, yeah, Peruvian representation, yeah, and he's like, oh, it's in Argentina. I'm like, fuck you, Jack. Fuck you! I'm checking make sure the mics are going to record it, because literally I was doing the Walker Season 2 stuff, and I'm like, oof, forgot to record. Just making sure. Moving onward. So they have an argument because, Jack's like, well, we have Thomas, we have the league, we have the money issue. And just like, it's always an excuse, but it's always this, and that reason. We can never just go. Like, it's always a reason, and she's getting fed up with it. She really is, because like all she wants to do is have a little fun, start to focus on the family more. And Jackson, being honest with her, like, look, the DWL is hanging by a thread. If I leave for a little bit, that's gonna even fuck things up more. So, no, I can't just leave. I have to stay and wait until we get things back to normal. But how long is that going to be? Is it ever going to happen? They don't know, and nothing really is known at this point yet. And even when Jack heads up outside, considering, in fact, yeah, this is the same house that we get back to the same exact shot of when Tom died. Well, when he killed himself, Jack's just there weeping. It's just like he just inherited all his dad's problems, and it's just gonna get harder from here unless something changes. And that's where the episode ends for the week. Honestly, for me, I think this was, again, another solid episode in Heels. It's like every episode so far has been a banger after banger. Like, it's continuing the story well. It's flowing well. All these characters are going where they're going next. Again, how many times do I have to see any sort of nudity from Bill? I'm just thinking to myself, can we stop? I don't want to see this next week, please. Can we please take a break? Por favor. I'm getting to see Jack's wife kind of like still feel the pressure of things with like the status of her marriage and her personal life. Ace beginning to turn heel in both the show and in his life is going to be a very interesting turn in how he's going to handle things going forward and how everyone else is going to really react to that. And what Bill's going to do next, what's going to happen. I'm just very curious. But again, they're leaving things so perfect. Like, I really want to see what's next for next week. This definitely is a bingeable show, but at the same time, the pressure of just seeing these episodes every week is really driving up the pressure. Like, I'm always remembering that, okay, next week's Heels, what's going to happen next? I can't wait to see what happens next, and I really can't wait to see what they're going to do next. So for me, I'm going to give this episode 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it so much. Another solid episode for the team. Hopefully the next 5 episodes will continue to impress me. And let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this week's episode of Heels? Did you love it? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always down for conversation down there. But I think that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Tube from ActionX, reviewing every episode in Heels on Starz. If you want to know what we're doing overall on What's the Tube, besides our Heels episode reviews, we're currently doing DC Stargirl Season 2 episode reviews each and every Wednesday morning after a brand new episode on Tuesday nights on the CW, or free the next day on the CW app. But if you don't care about Heels, you don't like, we'll be back next week with another brand new episode review for you. Can't wait for that. September is starting. About to get a little chilly here, so I'm like a little bit scared because of other things, but whatever. It's been a fun summer so far. It's been a fun summer. Also, because we're only doing 2 shows right now for the next few weeks, so we got a bunch of like random one-offs to fill in the time period between. Because usually we do 3 shows to review each and every week, which is about to get even more complicated when September comes to a close. This coming week, we're doing Monsters at Work Season 1 review. Because we did a Monsters at Work First Impressions around July. And the plan was to go into a review series for that each and every week, but we didn't sadly get enough views to do it. But considering the fact how things turned out, I think it was for the better. So this Thursday or Friday, we will be posting our season 1 review, non-spoilers. So check that out. That'll be coming out till then. Very excited to have. It's been a very fun ride with that show. Can't wait to talk about more into details when we get there. Now, haven't seen most of the whole season. By the time that's all, the whole season, you know what I mean by that. But again, if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX. Please subscribe to ActionX on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Like, favorite, share this review if you want to, but it helps us get out there to other members of the Heels group. The Healers. Yeah, the Healers. It helps us beat up the YouTube algorithm that hates me ever so much, as well as sharing it for free here on the internet. Ring that bell for notification when our next Heels episode review is live, which is normally each and every Monday mornings, as well as follows on our social media pages, including our brand new Instagram page. And for all you healers out there, I'll see you all next week at the next episode review. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, enjoy your Labor Day weekend, and of course, peace out.